man. Just kind of what you've been doing with fitness and everything. Like, what do you do right now? Are you a trainer?
Oh yeah, so I'm a personal trainer. I do in-home personal training.
No way, man. Okay, cool. Like, what got you into that? Did you start at a gym, or you just kind of went into your own business?
No, so like I've been around fitness my whole life and sports.
Yeah,
Um, but as far as like, gym wise, like switching or like actually getting into in-home,
yeah, yeah.
I worked for a gym at first,
Okay.
and it wasn't what I thought it would be at all. It
No,
was
it
very
never is.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of a pain, honestly.
yeah. So
Yeah.
then, I went through that for about maybe a good 7 or 8 months.
Okay.
Um, but like prior, I had already worked at a gym, but not as a trainer.
Yeah.
We were, I don't know how you call it, but like we would do like little app classes, and then like it's called Cooper Fitness Center, but like
Cooper Fitness Center?
yeah, it's
I've
called
heard
Cooper
of
Fitness
Cooper.
Center.
I've heard of Cooper, dude. Is it like I mean,
It's
correct me
called
if
like the Cooper Aerobics.
yes, yes, I've heard of Cooper. Somebody sent me an email a while back about that, and I'd never heard of Cooper before. So, but
Yeah, so
apparently
actually it's
it's
like the
the shit.
Cooper Institute,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then they have like multiple things there, but the gym is one of them. And so, like we would get questions about like rehabs or exercises or certain things, and we
Sure.
were like always on the floor, answering people's questions. We just weren't trainers, right? We could
Interesting.
instruct.
Interesting.
So, that like I loved that part. I enjoyed it. I stayed there for a good while,
Yeah.
probably almost 3 years,
Oh,
and
nice,
then
man.
so I made a transition into like actually, going the personal trainer route. And that's when I ended up at the gym.
Hmm.
Did not like it. You know, I say parted ways, but I actually got fired from there.
Yeah.
But it was one of those like I didn't want to be there at all. Like I did everything to get fired, right? Like that
Yeah.
was
No, but
yeah. So
it's
that was
happened to me
like
before, man. It's no worries. Like sometimes you just can't stand where you're at, and you know
yeah,
something else is out there for you, you know.
yeah.
So
You just it just doesn't click,
yeah,
right?
it doesn't, and you don't get along with maybe like the managers or something. I don't know. It's a host of issues, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. The
You
whole
get it.
process was just not right for me.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, man.
So
So you created. So did you take? I'm always curious. Like I do a little bit of the at home training, but I think you've spent more time building it up, and you've probably got a decent clientele, you know. But what
so
did you take people from the gym and like make them part of
well
that?
no Well, no, so that was after I left the gym, I ended up just Googling like in-home personal training, and I found a company that does it.
Okay,
And so right now, like I work for the company as
nice.
well.
What
Yeah.
company is it?
So it's called Elect Wellness.
Okay, okay. Well, that's awesome. Because there's a few down here. So I'm in Louisiana, and there's like I think that's becoming the new thing. Because there's a couple companies who do the exact same stuff, and I've gotten emails like these people who collect the at home trainers, and they kind of just send them to houses and everything. I think it's cool. Like I think it's the new way to do things. So
Yeah,
personally,
yeah,
yeah,
no, it's definitely cool.
yeah,
Yeah, so and that was part of the thing is like with Jim, it was tax wise, it was self-employed, right?
sure, sure.
Um, as far as the company I'm with now, I'm actually an employee,
Hmm.
like under them. So that makes a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. No, it really is because they with the gyms and everything. I've trained at Planet for a while, and it's funny. I kind of get where you're coming from like a question point of view. Like when people ask you questions and everything, sometimes you get you get some strange ones, and
hmm
you don't know where to go with them because people would come to Planet Fitness, and we were paid hourly, right? We paid like $10 an hour. So it seemed like a terrible model for trainers. Like you go work for Planet, you're getting asked the most intense questions about training, right? Things that people should be asking doctors, and you're getting paid $10 an hour. It's like I have no idea. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah,
funny, dude. Like you get I think that's the funny thing with working for a gym is like you're not getting paid too much, and then you get all these very strange, hardcore training questions. So it was fascinating. But yeah, but what was your journey in fitness, man? You had a weight loss, huh? You had
Yeah.
like you went through. Go ahead.
So I graduated from Texas Tech in 2017.
Nice,
I have a degree in kinesiology and a minor in psychology.
dude. That's awesome.
And like through my last year, it started way before this, but through my last year, I weighed my final weight was like 265.
Okay.
And so I graduated, and maybe a couple months after I graduated, May of 2017,
Yeah.
I dropped down to 195. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. I dropped down to 175 at my lowest,
Wow.
and now I maintain 185.
That is fantastic, man. That's nuts. Oh my god.
Yeah, appreciate it.
No, that really
So,
is like
and what
that's
I tell
amazing.
people,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, what I tell people is like, yeah, I did it in 9 months, but like
Mhm.
my biggest thing so far is I've kept it off for about going on 4 years now.
That's the trick there, maintaining it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you do? What did you do to start the weight loss? Because I think what people would really want to know is that you had the education, right? You could when you started the whole weight loss thing, you probably had a leg up on some other people. But like, what was the first step you took, kind of as a college student, like with your schedule and everything? How'd you get started on that, on the fitness process?
Dude, that was like the hardest thing. So my schedule in college was I worked at Tech in the
Mhm.
mailroom
Okay.
from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh my God.
Either I was in class or I was at work. That was the best thing about working on campus was you could go back and forth.
Sure. Sure.
And then after that, 5 p.m., like I would go straight to my apartment, which was, college apartments.
Mhm.
And it was like maybe 10 minutes. And so I would work out for about an hour there, which
Okay.
was, run and lift. And then I worked at Nike as well after from 6:30 to about 10:30. So, man, it was
Jeez,
really
man.
just, it wasn't really finding the time. It was more of like making it a priority.
Sure. So what did you do? Like, did you tackle? Was your main focus just the workout, or did you work on like what you were eating?
It was a little bit of both, man.
Okay.
So I guess to really go back and start is like, so I have like a lot of reasons that, I did that, but
Sure.
like a big reason that pushed it was because like growing up, like I had a lot of run-ins with my dad, like
Sure.
going to the hospital, so there was a lot
my
of
gosh.
like diabetic, kidney, like
Scary
kidney
stuff.
failure, he had his foot amputated. He had like a quadruple bypass and he had a stroke.
Oh
So,
my God.
all of those like things ended up sticking with me and making me like learn that, like if I continue to live like this, then the next, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever years of my life that I have left, that's what I'm going to go through is what I've already been through with my dad. Right.
For sure. So
And that was like the biggest.
yeah. So it was the family history that kind of woke you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Man, dude. Well, that's a big incentive. Like a lot of people, I don't think I've heard too many people use that as their reason. Everybody kind of gets into fitness because they have a friend tell them something, or they look in the mirror and they don't like what they see. It's not as, I feel like your reason is a very like powerful one. Because
Yeah.
you've seen it. You've seen what could happen, and I'm sure that's scary stuff too.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then growing up, it was always like, my dad always reminded me and my sister, like if y'all don't get yourself together,
Yeah.
one of y'all is going to be like this, and it's not, and it has to do with family and genetics because it's not the part of the lifestyle, because he was a softball coach.
Sure.
I was like in athletics my whole life and I played every sport, so I'm from a small town. And so that means like, football ends on a Friday.
Sure.
Saturday you're going to basketball practice, right? There is no
Yeah.
you were one sport. Everything is year round. So that was never a problem. It's just
Yeah.
then you
yeah.
get to college. That's when things start. You have to start figuring out a little bit more.
Where did you? What was the small town that you grew up in?
So I'm from Ballinger, Texas.
Ballinger, Texas. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't
But
heard
I
of it.
live
So.
in Dallas right now.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I said I haven't heard of it. So there you go. I guess it is a small town, Ballinger. It's a cool name though.
Ridiculously small.
Yeah, it's a cool name. I like it. But man, it's you're the second Texas guy I've interviewed. So that's cool, man.
Oh, okay, where's the other one from?
Oh God, where did he say he was from? Jeez, man, I'm blanking. I think he said. I want to say he said Dallas. I can't even for the life of me remember, man. That's sad.
Okay, yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Wow, dude. And where do you still work at? Like, what gym do you work out right now at? You
So
still
no,
at
I
Cooper?
don't work at. I do like strictly in home. Like I go all around the Dallas area and work out in home.
Okay. So you personally, like, do you work out yourself at home?
Oh man, so it depends. Like when I have time, like Nike since working for Nike, I use the Nike training app and the Nike Run app for everything.
Okay.
I'm a real big so when I realized like my gyms were closing, and so I started using playgrounds
Okay.
that weren't closed.
Sure.
So right next to my apartment, we have like a playground that you can do pull-ups, chin-ups, a little bit of ab raises. You take your jump rope out there. You can do lunges, squats, like the perfect
Yeah,
small
perfect
area.
full body
So that's
routine
what I'll do
there.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, man, that's amazing. So out of curiosity, what were you working out like when you had to do the park workouts? Is that kind of the main method of you like maintaining your weight loss? Was that something, or were you doing other things with like your diet to help out?
I would say a lot of it would be like mainly diet, right?
Okay.
Like, and I don't really call it diet. I would just say, man, like you just gotta like
Make
you gotta figure out
right
that
choices.
it's a lifestyle, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's what you got to figure out, right? There's no such thing as a diet. I don't like the term bolt season or cutting
I love
season.
that, man.
I don't like any of those, right?
Yeah.
Like, my thing is I want to maintain a lifestyle that I can wake up and be proud of every day and feel
Sure.
good every day, right? I don't want to have to restrict myself, but I also don't want to engorge myself to feel a certain way.
See, that's what's missing too, man. Like from what we have nowadays, with Instagram and social media, everything is like a trend. So it's
Yeah.
become less about waking up and feeling good about yourself and more about like you need to stop doing what you're doing and do this better. So it's become more or less about like forgetting about all the stuff you've been doing and trying something new, because all these plans will basically tell you that you're wrong. What you're doing now is not good enough, which I disagree
Right.
with. I think for you're a living proof of like taking something you've been doing and maybe tweaking it a little bit here and there just to make it a little bit more effective, right? So
Right. Yeah, man.
no,
Like,
that's amazing.
And like, my biggest thing is like restricting myself. I don't enjoy that, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and that was, again, my biggest thing was, like that I've kept it off for 4 years. That's the hardest thing to do, is keep it off. Everybody can lose weight, everybody can gain weight, but the hardest thing is to keep it off and maintain it off.
Yeah, and it's a pain. People can't. I think that's the big thing, is because you reach a plateau so quickly. You kind of if you're doing an extreme diet, then you reach a plateau, and then all of a sudden you just hit a wall, and you're like you don't know where to go next. So the simple fact that you were able to just to kind of not reach a plateau and keep losing weight consistently for like 9 months that's utterly impressive. What did you do? What did you do in the gym? Like, what were your workouts consisting of when you were like losing that weight?
So when I was losing weight, I did a little bit. I did a lot of body weight cardio with like I would say light to medium light weights. So
Awesome.
I never went medium to like heavy. I
Okay.
did very light to medium lightweight at first.
Okay. So it's kind of so you did sort of like it wasn't traditional cardio. It was weightlifting cardio basically
Yeah,
in a
so
sense.
like for example, like one of my apartments, I would run to my old apartment, which was zero point 0.7 miles away,
Sure.
and I would go work out in that small gym. And the small apartment gyms, like
Yeah, they're
they
it's
have
something.
the cables,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, they have the cables and dumbbells up to 50, right? And then a
Sure.
place where you can do some pull-ups. Um, so I made the most with that, and I would do some circuits. I would do my heavy days were kind of like 5 sets, 20 reps.
Mhm.
Because I really didn't have, like I said, I only had up to 50. So
Sure.
couldn't really go heavy. And then and then I would run that zero point 0.7 miles back. So just mix up things like that.
So see but the cool thing is that like you approached it from the perspective that when you're trying to lose a lot of weight, immediately your thought goes to, a lot of intense cardio on like a treadmill or some kind of cardio machine. Nobody immediately goes to the circuit style weightlifting, cardio that you're doing. The stuff you could do at home or the stuff you could do in an apartment gym. So I think that's what's forgotten is it is better to be doing the stuff you were doing to make significant weight loss as opposed to just, slogging your time away on a treadmill. So yeah. See, that's cool. I love that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, and being like a personal trainer, I like the fact that that there's a lot of little things that I use that people really understand
Sure.
because of I went through it, right? Like it's
Yeah.
hard for somebody to tell somebody that didn't go through it how it feels, how it is, or how to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. So what would your first step be just as a piece of advice if somebody was looking to lose weight like you did, what would you say your first step would be? Like if somebody didn't know anything about weight loss and they wanted to get started into it, what would you say to do? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm curious. Everybody's got some cool solutions, so
No, it's fine. Yeah. So that's I would definitely ask them. Smart. I would be like, be real with yourself, honestly.
okay.
Um, so there's a lot of there's a lot of things that I like to answer, that I like to ask people.
Yeah,
So
sure.
one question is, to find out how honest you are and how you feel about yourself. I ask the question. It's like,
That's good.
if I asked you about somebody or something, how many things could you come up with in a minute,
Mhm.
right? And of course, everybody's answer is going to be like, well, XYZ 1 2 3. They're going to come up with 1,000 things,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know. And then the other thing is, I'm the, well, tell me or number me or give me a lot of reasons of why you love yourself. And there's a pause,
Okay.
and it stops,
Oh
and
wow.
you know that's where it's like, okay, why aren't you worried about yourself as much as you're worried about that thing that I just told you to name off, or whatever.
Hmm.
And so that's where I would go. I would be like, what and who you are today is what you've been doing over the last months, years, days, hours, whatever.
Yeah.
you know so I would say, be completely honest with yourself. How are you eating? Are you moving around? Do you sit at home? Like, how are you on the day to day, right?
See, but that
And
is
then,
that is exactly how people need to start, man. Like seriously, that's if people want to tackle their own problems, you're right. They have to take a candid look at what they're doing now, you know?
hmm and
Yeah.
then, and then, and then my other thing, like, and then by the end of the conversation, I give them, and I'm a real Nipsey Hussle guy, so
Yeah.
I heard this interview from him, and he was like, you lay, and everybody wants that wall rather than laying a brick down every day, and that's the part I try to get to him after is, this is a lifestyle, right? Like,
Sure.
you're not gonna quit, like, you can always restart and you can fall off and come back, but there is no, oh, my diet ends in 3 months, oh, my training plan ends in a year. There is no end date. This is a lifestyle, and this is what you have to make it.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what people need to take from training. Yeah, you're right about that. So it's kind of usually, it's interesting that you start there, because I think that's a big mistake that trainers keep making, is they don't tackle the psychological part. So you're kind of digging into the psychological aspect before you even approach like programming. Really, you're kind of just you're sitting there, you're trying to figure out what the mental state of this person is currently, so that you can take that and you can apply that to something that would fit their life better. So
right, because we all know the information of eating right. We all know the information of exercise.
Yeah, we do.
That it's all out. But we got to get down past that. Like, how do we put it to use in your life, and how do you make it a lifestyle?
Sure. See, that's good. That's really good advice. That's good. People don't go at it like that, and people also too, they don't. That's what I've found too. They don't believe in themselves enough to think that they know what they're doing right now. They think that there's some kind of magical solution that they're not understanding. And really, you're right. When you say you already know, it's truly, you do already know what you can do. You just have to take a look at your life now and sort of focus in on like the logical changes, like the things that are obviously unhealthy or obviously better decisions. So yeah, because people, I think, kind of get discouraged and they think that there's like a magic pill or a magic answer, So
yeah, it's that old thing of, if you could put exercise and diet in a pill, whoever made that would be the most profitable person in the world.
Damn right, it's true, and there's so many. Yeah, do you get into supplements with training and everything? Are you a supplement guy?
Actually, man, I really haven't. So the most I do right now is I do take Ghost protein.
Okay, I do like Ghost protein. I love Ghost protein.
I enjoy the flavor.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh my god!
And
dude.
the fact that like it's excellent with water. I have yet to find another protein that is as like tasteful with water.
Yes, because people. I always love explaining like whey protein to people. It's kind of, you say mix it with water, and the initial reaction is like, really, just water? It's like, yeah, I'm telling you, try. You got to try.
It's like, yeah, just try it.
Yeah, but Ghost is straight up delicious. Like I have yet to find.
They did very well with it.
They did. I think. Do you ever heard of Christian Guzman?
I believe so.
He's like I don't know too much about him. I just know of his brands and everything, all of his supplements. Like 3D Energy, the energy drink.
Mm.
That's
what is that one?
It's called 3D Energy. Like it's just
okay, right.
Yeah, so that's him. Christian, he did Ghost. I think like Ghost is one of his brands. So all of his supplements and his energy drinks are pretty great. Like I do think that he does some good stuff, and he also has the Alpha Elite gym in Texas. So
in Houston, correct? Isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. In Houston, so he's the owner of Alpha Elite, and he's got I think he does Ghost. I think that's what one of my buddies told me. So from what I know, but yeah, what would you say is whey protein's kind of the only thing you're doing right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as far as like I'm not a coffee person or like a caffeine person.
That's good.
I am trying to look for like a stimulant-free pre-workout right now.
Yeah.
Just because I do work out twice a day. I like to split up my cardio and my strength whenever I do have time. And
Bro, that's you're a badass, man. Not many people are working out twice a day. That's why you're making progress right there.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
and see, okay. So here's the other thing on that, right? Is
Yeah.
like, I do work out twice a day, but it's not that I'm there for hours, right?
Mhm.
My biggest thing with work in the gym or work anywhere is like you press the timer once you pick up those weights, right?
Yeah.
And then you press stop once you put them down. And at that point, between that is the only time you are doing work, right? Everything else is rest,
Sure. Sure.
right? So that means you may have been at the gym for an hour, or you may have been at a workout session for an hour, but the work you were doing may have only added up to 20 minutes
So you're
because of all the rest.
yeah. So see that is a good point because you kind of so what you're doing is you're maximizing your work. You're maximizing the actual time you put into real weightlifting or cardio training or whatever it is you're doing during that workout. So you're trying to maximize your work time as opposed to just fill it with breaks and keep taking rest times.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And
That's-
because, at the end of the day, my thing is, I want to be the most, I want to be extremely athletic while
Mhm.
also being, very, like having strength,
Yeah.
and to do that,
Versatile.
yeah, and at the end of the day, working out, dieting should be about getting where you want to be.
For sure.
So then here's my other thing is like, we look at marathon runners and, there's hardly any muscle on them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
they're-
You look
True.
at your power lifter, and there's nothing but muscle, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So now let's go in between. Now you have your CrossFitter, which is a little bit of both,
Yeah.
or, your CrossFit-esque workout, right?
Sure. Sure.
And so you have to take that spectrum and look at what you want. If you want to be full of strength and, full of muscle, 99, like big, bulky muscle, then, let's go the strength way and take a little bit longer breaks and work with a little bit more, heavier weight,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
So,
Okay.
yeah.
But now if you're looking to lose weight, well, then let's cut the breaks down and cut the weight down, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So then at the end of the day, yes, it's what you want. But for me, it's always going to be, we're going to get the most out of our time and we're not going to really waste any time.
Yeah. And you've simplified it too. Like you really it's a simple process to determining like how you're going to conduct your workouts. Like what you said,
Yeah.
like if you're going to lose weight, we can't rest as much and we have to do more reps, lighter weight, turn it into like a weightlifting cardio kind of deal. And
Yeah.
yeah, and so but see that's cool. That's cool. Maximizing your workout intensity is perfect. And unfortunately, dude, I'm one of those people where I'm just like between a set I'll just pick up my phone and like, do whatever I'm doing on my phone. Most likely just check Facebook because I'm addicted to it for whatever reason. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Cuz that's my issue. But see though, that's so cool. I think, if people people don't naturally think like that. I think part of the reason why they dread having to start a plan is because they think that when they go to the gym, they go there and it's got to be one time and it's got to be a long, arduous hour and a half training session. Like they're kind of worried about what it's going to be like. I think it sounds a little more appealing if you told somebody, hey, like if you split it up twice a day, then you could go into the gym the first time for barely 30 minutes and then maybe do like a 30-minute session on your second time around. So in all honesty, it might be a little less intimidating to people, to split it up
and then,
yeah.
Yeah. And then, like us being in the age we are now, like we tend to, whether or not it's true, we tend to not have a lot of time on our hands. So
Yeah.
that just makes it, that much easier.
Yeah, true. And that's you're exactly right. That's a good point. But it's kind of so I was going to ask you something. Who's your favorite bodybuilder? Do you have a favorite?
Oh man. No, I really don't.
Or
I
who
guess
do you follow like I mean some people don't follow bodybuilders as much. I don't really keep up with them. I mean, you know, every now and again they pop up on like my news feed or something. But do you do CrossFitters? Do you have anybody like a YouTube personality you look up to?
man, no, I really don't.
Okay.
I mean, it might sound, little, I don't know how to put it, but I'm very I'm the type to be like, this is your life.
Yeah.
Um, you got to be your own superhero. You know what I
Sure,
mean? You got to
sure.
look up to yourself. Like,
Perfect.
yeah, that
Perfect.
like that.
Yeah.
It's not that like there's not people out there. It's just at the end of the day, all you have is you. So
Sure.
if you're out looking towards somebody else, you're not really working.
Yeah. It's and that goes back to the psychological aspect because I think people excuse me, I think the fear people have, you know, starting something, and I think I said this earlier, is not, again, not believing in themselves because they think they lack the knowledge to get started, right? So
Hmm.
it's you're right. It is a matter of trying to find the core or the root of believing in yourself and taking a look at what you're doing and, you know, like I said, making those logical changes. So, but what did you do? What did you do to kind of figure out like your fitness knowledge? Like where did that come from? Did that come from school or did you just kind of get that from people you talk to?
So it's a mix of both, right? Like
Okay.
I said, I've always been in sports. Like my dad was a high school softball coach, so I was always around sports and how to, know, um,
Sure.
like an off season type body.
Okay.
Me myself, like I did literally everything. Football, basketball, powerlifting. I threw, shot and disc and track.
Oh, good for
Um,
you, man. Okay.
Yeah, so I did a
Yeah.
little, like a little bit of everything. And then as far as high school, so that's one thing. I had what do you call it? Dual credit classes, which I took college classes in high school.
Sure.
So one of those classes, we just got to sit in the library, and if we had homework, we could work on homework. But I had a friend who, in one summer, going into my senior year of high school, I lost like 50 pounds,
Mhm.
and me and him would just research and research and research on how to lose weight and how to go about it and diet and
Yeah.
food and everything. And so I had prior knowledge, um,
Well, there you go.
like
It's
educational knowledge,
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
before going into college. So
Yeah.
that was a big thing.
And that's the rule of thumb, man. I am a huge advocate of just going online and looking up like random crap according to what your goal is. You know, you have to, you can't. I don't have the money to pay for a trainer. You know, nobody really does if they're looking to start somewhere. You know, that there's no, you can't get online, you can't buy that Instagram trainer's expensive plan. So. So I just, and it's funny, most people don't think to just go on YouTube and look up videos. Believe it or not, you know, it's, again, they want the magic pill. So
Yeah, it seems too easy.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And they think that that their body is different somehow.
Yeah.
That you know what has worked for so many other people who've lost weight is not going to work for them for some reason, you know. And it's I think it lends itself to being discouraged and all that stuff, but it is just about trying and putting your mind to it and working on the psychological aspect of like believing in yourself in the end, you know, knowing that you can do it. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah, that's amazing, man. Do you do I was going back to, I wanted to ask you this about supplements. Do you do anything with like BCAAs, branched chain amino acids? Do you do any of those?
No,
Good, me
nothing
neither.
really. Yeah,
No,
just protein. Yeah,
I have told people that too, man. I just protein. It's pretty much all you need, you know.
yeah, and that's my. It's like I I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know. It's just one less thing I have to worry about.
Yes.
Honestly, like I don't mind it. Some months I will order it, and and it's just one of those like I don't like some months I'll order it and I'm fine for a month or two, and then I could go without it for a good 6 months, right? Like I'm not consistent with that part. I rely on nutrition for the most part.
So
but,
are you?
I
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Finish.
I was gonna say, but again, as far as supplements, I do think that is an area where I need to do way better in.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think you're selling yourself short, man, because I don't supplements are just fancy looking things that are marketed to do something they really ultimately don't do. I mean they fill in the gaps, I guess. They kind of fill in the cracks, but no, I don't know, man. I think you know what you're doing, because it's whey protein is the only thing I ever recommend to people. I'll never tell them to like go buy, a fat burning pill or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no,
and I guess when I think of supplements, I would just I think of like the big four, which would be kind of like creatine, protein, your pre-workout, and maybe like a post-workout, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so see, that's like the starter pack. Like if you really just want the mental, you want like a little boost, or something to kind of help you out. Even if it doesn't really work, it's just kind of like a little placebo effect. Then it's good to start there, like pre-post creatine and protein. So yeah. No, that's good, man. I didn't even I started with all that when I started working out, but did you do that too? You kind of started with those four?
Actually, no, I did not start. Well, I've always like again on and off with protein, but as far as when I started I guess a little bit. It was like end of 2016 when I started losing my 90 pounds.
Yeah.
But when I started, I didn't start with protein until maybe like a year ago. So it took me a good almost 2.5 to 3 years to get back into protein.
See, that's why your story is so impressive, man. You were just raw with it. You didn't use anything special. You were all about just starting from scratch, doing what you could at the time. So
yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, and geez, that's a message that is lost right now. When you started really losing that weight, what were you eating? Like, how many meals were you eating during the day? Were you just getting like one? Were you really kind of undercutting your calories, or?
No, so I think that's the part where I kind of do a little better. I enjoy cooking. I love cooking. I enjoy cooking. Mm-hmm. And although it does get a little bothersome sometimes, having to wash dishes as well.
Yeah, it sucks.
That was I would stick to like 3 meals, and I would snack if I could in between.
Okay.
But my 3 meals, and this is why I say I suffer in supplements, is because my 3 meals would be, somewhere just protein, which would be like, some chicken, some beef, or some ground meat.
Okay.
And, I had an air fryer. So, I cut up small potatoes. I'm not a sweet potato guy at all.
Me neither.
Regular potatoes. And I would, eat a little bit of potatoes and green beans.
See, that's another cool fact too, is that I'm honing in on this because this is something that is a big factor. The fact that you did regular potatoes. So it's weird though, because people would like hear that and think, oh, like shouldn't you have done something healthier? Because that's immediately what goes through my head. People aren't going to assume like, oh, it's just regular white potatoes. Like, yeah, you can, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're living proof of that. Like you said you didn't like sweet potatoes, but you knew that by getting carbs in or just doing a carbohydrate, even if it was something white, like, white potato or white rice or something, was still going to get you to where you needed to go.
Yes. And see, and the reason I say I lack, or this is my worst part, supplements, is
Yeah.
because the only vegetable or green thing I do enjoy
Yeah.
are green beans themselves. Like I do not enjoy any other type of vegetable or anything else. Like that is the only
Get off
thing.
this podcast, Christian. I can't. Just kidding. You're good. No, I agree with you.
That's what
good.
I do say. Like I could use like maybe some greens in my life or not, but that's one part where I do want to look into.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people don't eat vegetables in general, so I mean, it kind of does come down to just find something you enjoy eating that is a vegetable and just start there. So be it green beans or broccoli or something. So no, I mean that is a commonly missed thing in the diet is the veggie aspect. So veggies, and then the fact that you did regular carbohydrates and you didn't go with like a fancy sweet potato or something like that's cool. So yeah. Did you eat breakfast on the regular, or were you the kind of person who skipped breakfast?
Oh no, man! Oh gosh, my breakfast is the best, in my opinion.
Yes.
So my breakfast consisted of like 2 sausage patties.
Okay.
And then I would have like 2 eggs with the yolk. And recently I needed like protein because I started lifting a little heavier.
Yeah.
So I started doing egg whites, but like I still do yolks every now and then.
Yeah.
But let me go back to it. It would be 2 sausage patties, 2 eggs.
Okay.
Fried. I still have the yolk.
Yeah.
And then I eat apple and cinnamon oatmeal with a little bit of honey and peanut butter. And that is the breakfast of champions right there.
Bro, that's good. And it's cool too. That makes breakfast sound better because it sounds good. Like I would love to eat that right now. People don't.
Yeah, and it's so filling.
Yeah, it is, and it's like good oatmeal, and it's sausage patties. It sounds tasty. So and that's amazing. Are you like when you wake up? Are you consistently hungry for breakfast?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay.
Usually when I wake up, I have a client before in the morning, so I'll go to my client's house, work him out, and then I'll come home.
Sure.
And usually, depending on the days, but 3 out of the 5, weekdays, I'll go and do my cardio and then come back and eat. I try to do like a little fasted cardio, but then there are 2 days where I can't. So then I'll just go ahead and have breakfast, and fasted or not, it doesn't matter. But 3 out of the 5 days I do try to do my cardio before I eat in the morning.
So you like the idea of fasted cardio?
I enjoy it. I do think there is some type of feeling that you get if you don't have a lot of food in you before you go work out.
Is it
especially running or cardio type deals?
Yeah. So it's so for you've seen a big benefit with doing cardio before you eat. Like that's kind of
I feel lighter. I feel better overall. Like if you get past that little hump of because sometimes you do have that little ache in your stomach where it's like, oh man, am I gonna make it?
Yeah.
But if you just like anything else, if you fight past that little 5 minutes of worrying about it and just worry about something else, then you're completely fine and it's okay.
Sure. So it's I mean I've never attempted fasted cardio. I think I was always like worried about it, because a lot of bodybuilders go about doing fasted cardio, and I think people who need to make like a significant weight loss should do fasted cardio, but I was always skeptical, thinking that I would like shrink down to the size of like a beanpole if I did fasted cardio. But that's good. That's good to hear though. You've done it and you like it, That means that's good. That means it probably is very effective, in the long run.
Yeah. I think it's just it wakes the body up a little bit, right?
That's cool. Yeah, you're right. It's like waking up and just going for a light walk down your neighborhood or something. Kind of similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm sure you do more than that, but Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, dude, that's That's amazing, because I've always breakfast is the big thing. Breakfast is the big one that people either don't do because they're too busy or they're just not hungry for, so they miss out on it, you know. But that would be a way for people to eat breakfast right there, is do your cardio beforehand. You know, that would be a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want them to eat breakfast, have them see if they can do some cardio or some kind of walking to like get their metabolism going.
Yeah, spend your energy first. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. I think you're onto something there, because people don't go and do breakfast. So, yeah, that's amazing. Well, Christian,